Good morning, everybody. This is Dan, Backpacking Adventures. I'm here again with Dakota. We're back out doing another trip. This trip is basically, we're going to be testing out some new gear. We both got new hammock setups, and Dakota's doing a hammock now for the first time. A good setup. So we're going to test that out, and this, I think, is going to be basically our last winter, at least as far as the season is concerned, trip. So let's get to it. So we're back out here, and like I said, we're mainly out here to test some gear. And we're doing a short section of the Appalachian Trail again. We're starting at Clark's Creek where we parked last time. We're going the opposite direction. We're heading north. We're going to be going to Rausch Gap Shelter. Now we may not be going to the shelter because I do know there's a really sweet campsite just before that by the creek. So we may stay there. And Rausch Gap Shelter is like a half a mile off the AT, so that'll be another deciding factor. But we're out here to test some new gear, and we're just doing it in and out because, well, we were lazy. We didn't feel like juggling cars again. So we're going to do 11 miles in, and then tomorrow turn around, do 11 miles out. We just made it to the top of it was a 3.1 or 3.2 mile climb, and pretty nice. We got about 8 miles left to go, and we're at the top of the ridge. There used to be an old, I think an old fire tower used to be here. I'll show you in a minute. The bases are still here, but this is a nice campsite. I stayed here a couple times already, tents and hammocks. This is very, very, very nice site. Check it out. We're up now. We're going to look for a place to stop for lunch. I think there's a campsite up here about a mile up that we're going to stop at. Pretty nice site. But now the weather for this trip, it's funny because we just had a snowstorm a couple days ago with single digits and in the teens overnight and high winds and all that, snow and everything. Today's supposed to be in the mid 50s. Tomorrow it's supposed to get almost up to 60. So maybe within a couple days at least the snow is going to be gone. So maybe this will be our last, not only winter because spring's only a couple days away, but maybe it will be our last winter weather trip as well. So we'll see. We just made it to the Yellow Springs campsite. We're going to be moving on about 100 yards. There's a spot up there to eat lunch, but this is one of the sites on the AT that is supposedly haunted. Has to do with some Indians and some different settlers and a whole bunch of places, but this is an old mining community. There's ruins around here if you go back in the woods. But if I remember when I edit this video, I'll put what the story is behind it so you can read it at your leisure. But yeah, it's supposedly haunted. You won't see me standing. All right, we made it. It's about 12 full miles today, and we made it to the Rausch Gap Shelter. And the shelter is back that way. Right there is the privy, and the shelter is back there. Someone's already staying there. I don't know if they're living there or not, but someone looks like they're going to be there for a while. But there's no place to hang your hammocks right at the shelter. But we found a really nice spot up here, if you can see it. I'll show you. Dakota's going to be going between those two trees, and I'm going to be going between these two trees, and we'll put our tarps in porch mode. We'll have like a little compound here, but this is about the best hang we're going to get here because a lot of these trees are way too far apart. So this is really nice. We're way up on this little ridge up here. It's just a beautiful spot. We'll be able to see the night sky. Night's supposed to be clear, so it should be nice. There is a breeze coming through, so we'll see how we're going to do with shutting the doors or not, but we'll see. Like I said earlier, I did get a whole new hammock set up, basically a new tarp that I'm testing out. This one's from Dutchware Gear. This is their Xenon Winter Ultralight tarp, which I'm going to talk about a little bit more. And the new hammock I got is the Dutchware Half-Wit. You might have seen that in other videos. Dakota also got one. He's finishing setting up his stuff. But basically, this is a half-wit because the netting only goes right here. So when you're laying in it, when you get in your hammock, it's only going to cover. I'll show you a little bit more, but a little bit later. But it just covers you up over your head. So this tarp, though, is actually made of xenon, and it's not sewn. It is bonded. This is their xenon bonded tarp. And I'm going to do a full review of this video. I just got this to test out so far. So far, I'm liking it. It's very light. It is probably only... My Dyneema winter tarp is about 13 ounces fully made up. This one is 16 ounces, so it's only 3 ounces heavier. It's pretty much the same size. But it works like Dyneema because everything is bonded, so you don't have to seam seal it. And if this material tears, Dutch is going to be making some tape that you just tape it up just like Dyneema. So aside from and it's very waterproof, it absorbs a little bit of water, and the biggest part is this is like a third of the cost of Dyneema. One of these is about $170 for the winter tarp, and they have smaller sizes too. But for a Dyneema tarp, it's $400 or $500. So this kind of functions just like a Dyneema tarp. That's the benefit of this, I see. So this is probably going to be my go-to winter tarp. The summertime I have smaller tarps I use, but this is really nice. This one has the doors, and you don't need to seam seal it or anything. It's all bonded. It's nice. So I'll show you a little bit more a little bit later. Right now we're going to finish setting up and start eating because we're both really hungry. All right, so this is the Dutchware half-wit hammock, and basically the way it works is it has no attached bug net other than this at the top. So what you do is you lay down, you slide in and put it over you, and it covers you down to about your waist. So you're just going to get in. And then you just drape it down, and it will go over your hammock and over your quilt into where your legs are. And that's basically what it is. I would say it's more of a minimalist hammock for people that really want to shed weight, because I can tell you this is from my Dream Hammock Darien. This is, I believe, 8 ounces lighter, so a half a pound lighter. I'll do a whole full review on this, but a little bit later. But I'm hoping that this is going to be my go-to hammock for summertime, for warm weather especially. It's only 10.5 foot. I'm normally used to an 11 foot, but we'll see if that makes a difference. I laid in this a couple times and so far it didn't make a difference. So we're going to keep them in porch mode tonight. I did shut the 2 back flaps here because the breeze is coming this way just to stop the breeze. And I did put my underquilt protector on. I wasn't originally going to, but I did. Same with Dakota, he did as well. But yeah, this is the half-wit hammock. so far so good. We're gonna see what I get a good night's sleep in it tonight or not. So we'll talk about it in the morning. Tonight I'm having another Next Mile meal. I've been eating these. These are keto meals. This one is coconut chicken curry. And so far I'm really happy with the Next Mile meals. And I'm also having a keto chocolate and peanut butter bar. And these are really, really good. And I had some peanuts and stuff, so that's pretty much it for what I'm having for dinner tonight. But this is pretty good. All right, well, it is almost 8 o'clock, and we're gonna give our new hammocks, our Dream Hammock half-wits out, a try in our tarps, which are the xenon bonded tarps. So we're gonna give them a try tonight, and it's like going on 8, so we're gonna turn in, so we'll see you tomorrow. Well, I slept pretty good last night. I did have some trouble getting this half-wit hammock set up last night because it's 10.5 feet, a little bit different ridge line than I'm used to, but I finally got it right and it was comfortable. I was really comfortable last night. I did use the bug net. I had to pull that over. There's a real slight breeze coming through. It just kept that off my face. It was perfect, but I was warm. I have my 20-degree quilts with me. It is right now, it's 32 degrees. Not bad at all. And here's another example of the tarp from underneath. You can see where it's bonded. Oh, and here's my view. I get to see the sunrise. So I'll be doing a full review on this hammock and the tarp here in the coming weeks. I'm going to use them a couple more times before I get some thoughts on them. But the tarp worked out great. I loved it. Same with the hammock. So yeah, I'll put links to all this in the description for all this gear. And I also did change my ridge line. I got rid of the continuous ridge line, and I'm using some things called stingers. I'll show you what they are a little bit later. But they work to me a lot better than the continuous ridge line. I just always have problems with that. The pressic knots would always bind. Couldn't really move it around. This is faster in my opinion, so I'm really liking it. So now I guess it's time to wake Dakota up and get moving. So what was your think of your first night in your hammock?
It was great. I definitely slept better than I did in a tent. I think I'm gonna be a hanger for a while. Although I am gonna go to a more traditional underquilt because this pad did not work out. It was just too bulky for in the hammock. So other than that, great night.
Yeah, I think it's not necessarily that's not good because that's meant for a hammock. I think that it's more that the half-wit hammock is just a little bit. It's not as wide and it's not long. So this could work in a bigger hammock for sure because that's what this is meant for. But yeah, I think you'll be a lot more comfortable in underquilt. For sure. So this is my view from my hammock right here. You can see that beautiful sunrise, and the sun is so nice and warm. I love it. Here's the stingers that I switched to from the continuous ridge line. And if you notice, it connects with a beaner. It's all one piece, and it connects to your D-ring. And there's a line that's permanently attached to it here, or you can get your own line and tie it on yourself. But basically, the line goes around all the way around the tree, and then you put it around the wings, and it works just like the wasp. So I'm going to try these out now for a while. I like them so far. A lot better than the continuous ridge line for me anyway. I know that's a personal thing, but a lot better than the continuous ridge line in my opinion. And I'll talk about and show more about this in my video when I go over this tarp. right, we're getting a late start today. It's 9:13. We have to go up here to the shelter and get some water, and there still might be people there, so we're going to try to be very stealthy, but it was a really good night. We both were comfortable, even Dakota in his sleeping pad. That was a little bit, I think, too big for his hammock, but he'll fix that. He'll get an underquilt, and he'll be fine. He'll be totally perfect. So, like I said, we're going to get some water, and then we're going to move out. All right, so here we are. This is the Rausch Gap Shelter. The people that were here left. But you have the shelter. You have a really nice little table here, metal as well. Firing is nice because it has, someone put some metal there to reflect the heat. And this water is really neat. You can see it. Dakota's gonna get some water out of there, but it's right at the shelter. I mean, you cannot beat that. This is really nice. I have to say, it is absolutely beautiful out today. Blue sky, some clouds, but almost a totally bluebird sky. Sun's out and it is warm. It's almost 60 degrees, and finally, spring has sprung. We're now back at the car, and we're just passing Clark's Creek, and it was a great trip. All the snow is pretty much all gone from yesterday. We had about 3 or 4 inches on the ground yesterday. Now it's all gone, so hopefully that's it for the snow. Hopefully up north of here, I got a lot of trips planned on a lot of trails up north. So as long as that snow's gone, I'm gonna be starting them soon here in a couple weeks. And with that, thanks for coming, and I will see you next time.